Good morning and welcome. It is indeed a great day to be on television. If you ask me, I'll tell you so myself. Another day to pursue a better life. It's time to put in that work. Wake up, wake up. This is Wake Up
You don't even know how
Nigeria.
to do it. Don't sleep. Wake up. Time to get back to work.
I don't do trenches.
Even trenches are already trending. Well, after the long holiday, it is only right to wake up energized with so much enthusiasm. And starting with the right breakfast show sets the right tone as always, you know.
Yes, indeed. It's a good morning to you. Waking up to new prices in rice, I know, but don't you worry, you guys will survive.
Did you have to wipe the smile off my face?
It's a refreshing edition for your top-tier family breakfast show, guys. Wake Up Nigeria is back to work for you guys, I know. So, hey, hang in there. We'll make it easy on you.
Absolutely. It's time to reset, readjust. And what else should we do?
Yeah, just...
Because I'm about to give you bad news. No more public holidays till Christmas.
No.
And I'm saying it with a smile on top of everything.
Not that it matters, but no. I'm so sad for all of you. Anyway, as always, we have arranged for you guys a show of the century. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And of course, my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. Remember, you can use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms to be a part of the best breakfast show on Nigerian television. I never get tired of saying
You guys can also watch us live from absolutely anywhere you might be in the world. Only if you have the mobile app in your phones. It might be iOS, it might be Google. Just make sure you've got it.
Now, of course, you can also watch us on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF channel 49.
Yeah, if you're not following us yet, please do so already. It's at TVC Connect. It's that simple, at TVC Connect. It's somewhere there now.
It's okay, it's okay.
Somewhere there, Sha.
It's okay.
Instagram, Twitter.
Let me tell you what we have in store for you today. We begin with health, and Dr. Olatubi Olawale, a physiotherapist, will be in the show, or rather on the show today, to discuss dislocations and fractures. You see that dislocations are very interested.
Yeah, got one for him today. Ouch. On parenting, we will be looking at choosing words that help your children develop personal power and responsibility with Ajoke David, the founder of Aquila Homes. She will be joining us and we'll be having this very interesting conversation.
It's the International Day for the Girl Child,
It is.
and we have a special guest joining us on the couch. Oluwatobi Ola Adetimole, the founder of Priceless Virtues International Initiative. We'll be having a conversation with her this morning, and I really cannot wait for that, because the theme for this year is Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. And of course, that will be the focus.
For a musical performance, Adeola Martins, a gospel music minister and an anointed worshiper with a unique voice, will be joining us for a musical performance. Finally, we have Nigerian media personality, actress and photographer Gwemi Antonia Adefuye, known professionally as Toni Tones. Toni Tones is here! Sorry, calm down, Mazino. Toni Tones.
That's intense.
I can't believe it. She's gonna be here.
Look at him.
She's one of my favorite. I'm not really a follower.
Rice.
I'm not. Wait now.
Focus on the price of rice.
Wait. We'll talk about that.
Wait, why is that price of rice?
That's
Never
a new
thought of
game
it
show
before.
on TVC.
Price of rice. Brought to you by TVC.
That's nice. But indeed, that really worried me. In fact, when I saw the news yesterday, I yelled out to my wife. I said, "We're going to go get rice now." She said, "We've got enough to last us a year." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, family of 3. One bag can last you for 10 years.
It does indeed, actually. But that is worrying, the information about the flooded Ofam or Olam farms. 44,000 acres or so,
4,400. And it's
Have you
said
been to a
to be
rice
worth
farm?
140. I have.
It's a very beautiful, it's like
Gosh.
all level and everything. So you can imagine a rice farm underwater. That means
That's scary.
everything.
Well, you know something? I know quite well that it's easy to go, oh, Nigeria's woes, Nigeria's that. I was actually talking to a friend of mine in Canada this morning about how Nigerians tend to want to portray the negativity of the country.
More.
Meanwhile, these things are happening all over the world right now. Unfortunately, it's due to climate change. Though this one was not caused by climate change per se.
It's an annual
because
thing.
it was a dam that was opened from Niger, and there's a lot of political stuff going on the tune as well, because people are like, why was it allowed? But they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are for the people in government to handle. My own problem is rice. So if you are looking for what to give me for my birthday
rice.
or for Christmas, bags of rice. I have friends I want to share with. I know Mazino doesn't do gifts, but I'll take the rice. I'll take the rice.
In any case, you're welcome to a fun edition here for a Tuesday. Welcome back to work for you guys. If you're heading out to work already, thank you guys for carrying us with you in your mobile apps. We've got the newspapers, plenty of discussions inside of Wake Up Nigeria. Do stay tuned.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Senator Nnamani says Tinubu's health, in the meantime, despite being a member of the opposition People's Democratic Party, the former governor of Enugu State representing Enugu East, Chimaroke Nnamani, says the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is hale and hearty. The senator, while condemning those peddling rumors and fake news about the health of the APC presidential candidate, acknowledged Bola Tinubu's giant strides in governance, local government reforms and administration, as well as his political skills and sagacity. Senator Nnamani says Tinubu has no health challenge as erroneously being speculated, and insists the former Lagos State governor's health is not hampered in any way. He said, as a medical professional with honor, he can attest to the former Lagos State governor's health and capacity, adding that the APC presidential candidate has a robust general system and keen awareness of his holistic environment politically and in all ramifications. Away from politics to the lingering ASU strike, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, hopeful that the 8-month-old strike embarked upon by university lecturers will be over in a matter of days. Femi Gbajabiamila expressed optimism at the end of another meeting with the union in Abuja. In his closing remarks, the speaker said the only issue to be resolved is the no work, no pay policy of the federal government. Responding, ASU President Emmanuel Oshodeke expressed gratitude to the speaker and the leadership of the House for the intervention. He said the leadership will take the resolution of the meeting to its members for their decision.
It's basically what we have agreed with ASU now is basically to put everything on paper, sign off, and I believe if we had met yesterday, ASU and the papers had been drawn up, ASU I'm sure would have called off the strike today, but we only just met behind closed doors now, and so we have to draw up the agreements as I have stated to you, and hopefully next couple of days, once, of course, ASU has to get back to its base as well.
From what we have seen today, I think for the first time since this our action started, we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, because this is the first time we're having a such thing that, and we hope this time around, there will not be any attempt by any party or group to create something that will also make us run into anything again. We hope that this will be the final in the interest of our children. Our struggle, and I thank God the National Assembly are joining us, is for the educational system in Nigeria.
Outside Nigeria, Russia has carried out missile attacks on cities across Ukraine, including the capital, Kiev, in what appears to be the most widespread set of attacks since the early weeks of the war. Missiles have hit central Kiev as the capital is targeted for the first time in months. Police say 10 people have been killed across the country. Ukraine's Air Force spokesman says Russia has fired 83 missiles at targets in Ukraine, with many of them shot down. Russian President Vladimir Putin has confirmed the strike, saying further terrorism against Russia will be met with a similar response. He was referring to a large explosion on Saturday that badly damaged the only bridge linking Russia with occupied Crimea, key routes for military supplies for the war. Kiev has not acknowledged any role, but Moscow has blamed its intelligence services. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Zelensky says the G7 is to hold an emergency meeting and that he will deliver an address. And that's it on the news updates for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, there's so much more to come. Just stay with us.
And you are welcome. It is time for the dailies, at least the front pages of each of the dailies that you might be coming up with this morning. Welcome. Let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning for a Tuesday, a workday for you. Of course, it is the 11th of October. And front and center for our first page here on the Punch newspaper, Atiku campaign, PDP governors hit Uyo with 15 private jets. Wike, Otto, Makinde to others absent as party begins 2023 electioneering. Obaseki holds South-South stakeholders meeting in Uyo. Diri Udom pledges support and IO appeals to aggrieved governors, says party needs everyone to rescue Nigeria. Indeed, they do. Look at the photo stories there from the events. And then I'm also back. ADC candidate APC says ex-governor treacherous. That on page 8 at the bottom. And family loses only child blamed short-staffed Ondo hospital. And lastly, on the Punch newspaper this morning, boat accident claimed 701 lives in 34 months. Now, let's move on to our next daily this morning. And, of course, that is the Nation newspaper. Front and center for the Nation newspaper, PDP is party of termites, can't return to power, says Tinubu. At the very top for the Nation, APC accuses Dogara of using religion to cause disaffection, and Buhari to confer infrastructure award on Wike, October 21st. Fire raises Kogi House of Assembly complex, and INEC political parties can't institute candidates again. Find that one on page 5 for an interesting read. About the ASU strike here, ASU strike to end in days, say Gwajabi Amila and Falana. Never has there been a better song sang in the past many months. And Wike allies absent as Atiku campaign kicks off. At the very bottom of the page here, Buhari lists winning strategies at Tinubu Shatima women team inauguration. And finally, Navy destroys all bunkering vessel arrested by Tompolo's men. That's it for the Nation newspaper. Let's move on now to our very next paper this morning, and that is News Direct. Once again, front and center for News Direct, that good news about ASU. After 8 months, reps ASU raise hope for strike suspension. Strike to end in few days, say Gbajabiamila Miller, and we have seen light at the end of the tunnel, say ASU. At the top of News Direct, Obajana ownership crisis, Dangote Kogi government in war of words. In 2023, PDP presidential campaign flag off suffers as Wike and 4 governors absent. Pantami Commission, Nigeria Pavilion at GITX 2022. And at the bottom of the Nigerian News Direct, Abiodun Parley's Ogun Transporters sets to introduce gas-enabled vehicle electric motorcycles. That's not a question. That's actually what the paper says. And SEC, Nigeria, Ghana commits to strategic cooperation market development. That's it for the Nigerian News Direct. And of course, that's as much as we can take inside of the dailies this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've got comments that you want to make about any of these headlines, you might want to do so using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and we will be responding to that. Thank you very much. To stay tuned. We've got very interesting topics to discuss right after. And you are welcome. That was a very, very riveting and exciting session there for fitness. I like the guy, the instructor, and the 2 boys behind that were helping out. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's like you're tired of your life today. Hey, let me help you remove your shoe. Thank you.
I'm looking for something.
I'm always here for the violence.
That was you.
Take, or should I help you? Should I help you?
Oh boy.
That was on the left now, Abba.
You did well. You did
yeah,
well.
she looked like a cute boy. I mean, you said it, not me.
Yeah, rude.
Please, I'm too close to her for
I've been
comfort.
threatened. I've stopped. In any case, you had something very interesting you wanted to talk about. And
Oh, yes.
I have. They paid me.
They pay you, sir. Okay, so I saw this post by Toke where she was talking about how some of her friends came over, and then they did some naughty things, partying kind of stuff. And she found herself spraying the entire house.
When she knew her mom was...
No, it wasn't when she knew. Her mom showed up unannounced. Yeah. So she had to, spray the entire house. And so she's like, even at this stage, when she's the one paying her bills, doing everything herself, there's still that influence from her parents, she still has this fear of her mom.
But don't you?
Well, I'm not afraid of my parents.
Well, let me let you land.
I'm frightened of them.
The question you were about to ask was, put it.
Yes, the question I wanted to ask was, does parental influence have age limits? Like, do you get to an age that you're like, what, Seth, you cannot Please, mommy, daddy, I'm just saying it to you so that people can understand the question. What, Seth? You cannot tell me what to do. Again, daddy, mommy, I'm just saying it.
So you have your. What about you? Was that what the mass video was 14? Like I was telling you.
Everybody told her mom, madam, sit down. Some of us don't have that mind. We can only do shakara.
I will tell you this. 4 decades after, I still think that I'm not removed from the influence of my parents. I still think that there are decisions that I want to make, and then I have to think, oh, my parents. It's a good thing. Our culture, I mean, especially when they're trying to bequeath to us some good legacies and everything, yeah, they only want the best for you. However, in a modern society, I will tell you that it does hamper your progress.
So there are two things I'm going to ask you. Is it good for you or it's good for them?
Did I turn out well, morally?
You haven't answered my question.
I'm answering it.
Okay.
Calm down.
Okay.
Yes, it was good for me. However, there were other decisions I took that I had to rebel that would have turned out bad. Yes. I will give you an example, and this is no fault of my parents. I'm sure that they were only looking out for me. At the beginning of my career, and I started my career very, very early. I was even yet in school while I had my first job and everything. My parents said, no son of mine will do radio. I ran away from home to do radio in another state. With 2 shirts, a jean, and 30,000 naira, and no place to sleep when I
Wait, where did you get the 30,000 naira from?
Where did I get the 30,000 naira from? Yeah, voiceovers. I actually started voiceovers way before.
So you had a whole 30,000 naira?
Yeah, this was 18 years ago. Or
that's a lot of money 18 years ago now. You ran away from home. You were comfortable now.
No, boy, it was the hustle. And that also extended to the fact that why is this guy always going out and coming back there? Which studio are you going to? What? You can't make a living doing voiceovers or even radio. All the thing, you know. But I just had to take a stand and say.
So, you know, this thing is a two-edged sword.
Yeah,
on the one hand, there are certain things your parents tell you that if you do it stubbornly, there's a 99% chance that you would regret it. However, there are certain times when if you do it, the success rate is high. The only thing is you might suffer more.
Big risks.
Because it's a big risk. So sometimes when you have your parents advise you, it's usually a good thing to sit down, weigh your options. If you weigh your options and you realize that you're doing this just to rebel, just to show them that I can do it myself, then you need to really think about it. Yes, it's the motive that counts. But if you realize it's something you passionately want to do,
you're sure of it.
And you're sure about it, you can discuss it with them. And if it doesn't work out with the discussion...
Okay, I know we have to quickly wrap up, but here's what I'm going to say. Who says that failure is a bad thing?
It's not nice for learning lessons.
Exactly. You're meant to learn from it, and that is what adulting is about. There are people who have allowed that parental influence to influence them so much that they have been caged and trapped and have refused to even leave their parents' houses. You still find full-blown adults living
There's nothing wrong
in
with
their
living in your parents' house. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm
if you are from a rich home and there are several rooms and flats, there's please, rent is expensive. If your parents are giving you self-contained in their house, take it. Don't be.
That is your opinion.
That is my opinion.
That at a certain age,
you were going somewhere regarding mistakes.
And then you know, so you are meant to make those mistakes. You are meant because it's going to help you be a better person.
They must let you make those mistakes
early enough.
Yes.
So whether, regardless of what what age or whatever phase or whatever time in your life, you are meant to make those mistakes because that's what helps you, and you know, in your as you get on later on in life. So I feel like let's not let there be a limit. Let there be a limit to how much you can allow your parents.
But let's not lose
influence into making certain decisions. You know, as you get along.
Let's not lose the point here. I'm very sure that Toke took some risks that our parents do not approve of.
Very obvious.
But obviously, what she's talking about is how she still has that fear of them. Like, okay, they still have that influence over that. She knows she can.
Real quick, I want to say that is a healthy fear.
Yes.
I'm sure you still have it.
Yes.
I still have it.
I have more than it.
A lot of people out there still have it. That fear, you can also translate and call it respect.
Yes,
like
that's the
word. Maybe it's still trauma that you're still recovering.
No, it's not trauma. My parents didn't beat me anyhow, so it's not trauma.
People, that's
we cannot blame you. If I was about to say something, they say in Yoruba.
Let us know your thoughts. At what age should parental influence have an influence on you? We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome to the kitchen this beautiful Tuesday morning, and we are ready to get cooking. Of course, we've got a chef, Rob-T-B, and she's going to be in charge of the kitchen today, making something really sumptuous for us for breakfast. What is it we're having?
Good morning, everyone. This is Rob-T-B Catering and Conventionaries and Events.
Yes.
So common Nigeria diet, pancake. Pancake.
Pancakes. That's what we're having for breakfast. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making?
So we have all-purpose flour here.
Okay.
Milk flavor powder.
Okay.
We have salt.
Okay.
Sugar.
Okay.
Baking powder.
Okay.
All color of bell pepper.
Okay.
Yellow.
Red
Red.
and
green.
Okay.
Onion.
Okay. Egg.
Egg. 2 large eggs.
Okay. And oil.
And oil.
2 large eggs. I can
Eggs.
actually see that the egg is large. How much is a crate of this egg? How much did you buy it?
It's 2,400
For this one?
for the crate.
But they mixed it for you. This is small.
That is from farm direct.
This, okay, it's farmed.
It's not yet sorted.
It's not been sorted yet.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. So let's get started with our measuring and all. So run me through the process. What are we going to do?
2.5 cups of this,
2.5
the flour,
cups, okay.
all-purpose flour.
Okay.
You pour it in a bowl.
Okay. So 2.5 cups.
Yes.
I believe it's been measured already.
Yes.
Okay. So
Add your baking powder.
let's put this here so that we can see it clearly. Don't worry. Come closer. Yes, so that's fine. Yeah. So baking powder. So flour, baking powder.
Yes.
What goes in next?
Milk powder flavor.
Milk powder flavor. Okay.
You're adding your salt as well.
Salt as well. So how much baking powder do you put in the 2.5 cups of flour?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon.
1
how much
teaspoon.
milk flavor?
2 tablespoons.
What about the salt?
The salt is 1 tablespoon as
1
well.
tablespoon.
Yes.
What about sugar? How
The sugar is 1 tablespoon
only?
only. That's
Pere.
all. Pere.
Now we like sweet things like
No. We don't need to be taking too much sweet things all the time because all our food contains starch. So it has too much sugar.
Okay, I guess the milk flavor makes up for that. So when you're looking for the sweetness, you make up for it with the taste.
Exactly.
So milk flavor can actually replace milk in the...
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, very.
That's a way to save on milk, as a matter of fact. You know how you want
We
to
have different brands
do
of
some-
milk
yeah.
powder flavor.
Wow.
Yes, I have
So-
one of these. Yeah.
Okay.
This is Havana.
Okay.
So it's very good for all your pastries. Anything you want to make at home, for you to go for, let me go for that. No, this one also has a little bit of sugar.
Aha. So that's why you didn't even have to put so much sugar in it.
Yes.
So this is actually a great idea. We are trying to save a lot on foodstuff and groceries and the like. So you might want to consider, if you want to do some homemade baking, replace the milk with milk flavor. And milk flavor gives you the same taste, even stronger.
Yes,
Because you will
you can
really,
perceive it.
yes, smell it and you can even taste it. I didn't know you could replace it. I used to make use of milk and milk flavor.
No. This is preferably. Yes.
And it's more affordable for now.
Yes.
I say for now because you know how things are. Okay,
Going
so
in
what goes in
Nigeria.
next?
Chopped diced onions.
Okay. In pancake.
Yes.
Okay. Why is that, please?
Why? The reason why we are adding those ones.
Okay, you said it's
to
Nigerian
garnish.
pancake.
Yes. It's not continental.
Aha.
So something you can afford when you say that you don't feel like eating something much.
Okay.
Finely chopped red bell pepper.
Okay.
Finely chopped yellow bell pepper. The
Finely
same
chopped
green bell pepper. Yes.
Ha! This one is pancake elemi meji. Wow.
This is elemi meji.
Okay, this looks good. It looks colorful already. It looks really colorful. I can't believe I'm looking at pancakes right now.
You have.
Please tell me we are going to put atagungun as well.
No,
so that it can be peppery.
it's optional.
It's optional.
It's optional.
No,
if you
I
are
want
putting
pepper.
atagungun, it's it's because of people like you.
But you know, I'm always frightened about adding all of this. Akara, pancake. I always feel it affects the consistency.
No, it won't.
And it makes it flat.
It
won't.
Yes. It depends on your mixture.
Okay.
When you mix it well, that is why I have this, to avoid having lumps
Wow.
So this is lumps free.
I must say, I've learned a lot from Chef Rafi B this morning, and I can't wait to learn even more. And I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing what the result of this will be at the end of today's show. In the meantime, however, let's join Mazino for health with Dr. Olatubi Olawale.
Yes, indeed. While they're joining me for health, I'm sure the question on everybody's mind is just how tall is Mary? Well, let's move on. We begin on health today with Dr. Olatubi Olawale, a physiotherapist with specialty in sport medicine and also orthopedics rehabilitation. He's here to discuss dislocations and fractures. Dr. Olatubi, you are welcome. Good to have you
Thank you very
again.
much. Again.
I enjoyed last week's one.
Yes.
And this week we're talking about something that most people have experienced. Well, some people have experienced. Depending on what your childhood was like, if you played a lot, you probably have had a dislocation or a fracture. If you were a hermit, like I was, you've never experienced it, but the fear of it, yeah, is there. So let's talk about these two. Let's first define what they each are.
Okay, dislocation and fracture, they're two different things. And people mostly confuse both of them together, dislocations and fracture. Dislocations occurs around the joint. Now, a joint is a point where two bones joins together.
Yeah.
So when there is a dislocation, a bone is moving away from its normal location. Mm-hmm. That is where we call dislocation. I'll use my shoulder as an example. This is my humerus. This is the shoulder joint. It's meant to be in this joint. When there's a dislocation, there's a movement away from the normal movement, from normal joint. That's what we call dislocation.
Yeah.
There can be partial dislocation that we call that subluxation.
Subluxation. Partial dislocation.
Yeah.
I can't even say these words without wincing because it's such a...
While fracture, on the other hand, is when bone breaks. Simple.
Okay.
So it can.
This could be anywhere. It can be
anywhere. It can be anywhere. It can be any part of the bone. Can break.
All right. So going back to dislocations now. Dislocations, are they in comparison with fractures? Are they harder to repair? Because when you dislocate it, that means that it's coming out of its normal position. It should just go back into place. And I've seen videos where people just pop their shoulders back in, blop, and then that's it.
One thing about dislocation is that dislocation is when there is a dislocation of the joint, the best thing to do is just to put the joint back into proper position at that moment. When there's a when you're putting it back in the position, the pain comes down. Then you can go for further treatments, trying to do x-rays to check.
But now that's the thing, yeah? Putting it back into proper position, you have to know how.
Yes. That's where the first aid movement for any dislocation is that once you have a dislocation or anything, or fracture, the first thing is just support that joint first.
Don't move it.
Don't move it. Leave it. Just use a sling or splint to support the place that's been dislocated. Leave it there. Then, when you get to an experienced physiotherapist or a doctor or someone that is experienced, can now put it back into position at that moment, then the patient will feel immediate relief.
Wow.
Because I've had a dislocation of my shoulder before.
Yeah, you keep referring to that one because it's happened.
This shoulder really hurt me when I dislocated my shoulder. But when it was put back in place, immediately I felt a bit relieved. Then
further treatment. How long is too long to keep it out of place? Is there any time that if you went for an entire day, would that be permanent?
There can be complications, and it's best that once a joint is dislocated, it can affect surrounding tissues around it. It can affect the ligament, it can affect the tendon. Ligament is a substance, tissue that joins the bones to each other, while the tendon joins the bones to the muscles.
Oh, okay.
So when there's a dislocation, it can affect the tendon, it can affect the ligament, there can be a ligament tear, there can be a tendon tear. So that is why once a dislocation or fracture occurs, the best thing is to have a proper examination of this joint. Even if it is put back in place, have a proper examination. Well, that's why X-rays is very, very important, or MRI, because we are not magicians, we cannot see what's happening there.
Yeah.
You just have to see. X-ray will give us a clearer picture, MRI will give us a clearer picture of what's happening there. Then you can further treat back.
Now let's talk about fractures and treatments for fractures. Now fractures they could be, like I've heard, there's a term hairline fracture. You can go for days just experiencing pain. Like, why is this thing aching? And then it gets worse. Can you define what that is exactly?
Okay, fracture, as I said, there are different kinds of fractures. There's open fracture, there's a closed fracture, and there's a kind of fracture that happens when your bones are weak due to probably a metabolic degeneration, that's osteoporosis.
Scoliosis, yeah.
Then there's another fracture that can occur, the pathological fracture that can occur when the bone is, there's a cancer in the bone. So those fractures, you don't even need any greater force. Let me just put this in. Fractures and dislocation occurs when there is a greater force applied to your body, to your joint. So I cannot just hit you and your bone fractures or your bone dislocate unless the bone is weak. That's a metabolic fracture or the pathological fracture. Now, the kind of fracture you're talking about, we call it stress fracture.
Okay.
Stress fracture. Now, I've been using my leg, I've been using my leg every time, I've been running every time. I'll just discover there's a little bit of pain, just a crack. That's kind of stress fractures. Overuse of a joint, of a bone, can cause stress fracture. Those are the kind of fractures we have.
Does one need to be put in a cast to get that to heal?
Fractures, the management of fractures depends on the severity. Because once there is a fracture, the best thing to do is, if it is not severe, it can just be put in place. Because one thing about fracture is that bone heals itself.
Yeah.
The moment the bones are together, it can heal. Depending on the kind of fracture now, there's a transverse fracture, there's a communicated fracture. That's where there's fragments of bone. That means you can go for, that's fracture surgery.
Okay.
So depending on the kind of fracture, you can have a cast, you can have a surgery, you can just put in the boot. But management of fractures depends on the severity.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be done anyhow. Because
Cast can stay for as long as how long, real quick?
a cast can stay for as long as 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so that's how fast the bone could repair.
Yeah, bone can heal in 2 to 3 months. But full healing of bone occurs for over a year or so.
Okay. Now, there's one fracture that people, or dislocation, I don't know what you want to call it, that people are most scared of, and that would be of the jaw area.
Yeah.
Or even a crack in the skull or anything. I mean...
jaw fracture. There's a joint in the jaw. It's called jaw dislocation. When there's a dislocation of this jaw from the normal position, it's called, that's a jaw dislocation, the dislocation. And it can be fractured too, because there's a bone there that can fracture it too. So where physiotherapy comes into play in this thing is that once your joint is being in place, your fracture is healed, physiotherapy teaches you how to manage you how to walk back and strengthen the muscles around the fractured and dislocated joint.
Okay.
Because if the muscles around this place is being strengthened, it can't dislocate again. Because
jaw dislocation, however, I can't wear a cast, but would I have to have my teeth wired into place or something?
It's going to be the surgeons that are going to do that. They're going to put it back into place.
Wow.
And
Doctor in the house, thank you very much. Are you married, by the way?
Yeah, I'm married.
Oh.
Thank you.
Too bad. I was going to help you guys out there, but unfortunately he's married already. But not to worry. He'll be back again next week to give you some eye candy. We know why you tune in. Do stay tuned. We've got more inside of Wake Up Nigeria. Thank you very much, Doctor.
All right, people, you are welcome. Yes, you're still tuned in to Wake Up Nigeria, and it is time for our parenting segment. And with us today is Ajoke David. She is the founder of Aquila Leaders Montessori School, and she's passionate about bringing Montessori to the grassroots in Nigeria. And today we are talking about choosing words that help to develop personal power and responsibility in your child. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Now, let's first of all establish the need for, or the importance of for a child to have personal power and responsibility.
It's important for a child to have personal power because they need to be able to have some sort of control over areas of their lives. And we need our children to become responsible, to be able to make responsible choices in life.
Yes.
Because whilst they're young, the consequences of wrong choices are very safe, so to say. But when they grow older, those consequences become more and more dangerous. For example, a teenager chooses to drink whilst they're drunk. That could be life and death. So our children need to know that, you know, they have some level of control and they can make responsible choices. Sometimes children act out, you know, they misbehave when they feel they have no control over their lives. Even as adults, if you feel you have no say, how would you behave?
Lash out.
Exactly. So we need to give them some level of, you know, choices so they have a little bit of control over their lives.
Okay, fantastic. Now let's dig in on these words. What are these words that parents should be intentional about, when, helping to develop their personal power and responsibility?
Okay, so there are two sets that we're going to be looking at today.
Okay.
The first one is giving choices, limited choices. And they have to be limited because...
Sorry, I need to ask, at what age should you begin this grooming process?
From when they're toddlers, when they can actually choose. So for a toddler, in the morning, if you don't mind the child wearing a particular blue shirt or maybe another yellow one, you can say to the toddler, oh, would you like to wear your blue shirt or your yellow shirt today? Would you like to have, a toasty or a muffin for breakfast? Would you like orange juice or apple juice? And you have chosen choices that are okay for you. So you're offering them, some limited choice. And they get to actually empower themselves by making choices. When they practice making little choices every day, they get better and they understand the effect of their decision on their own lives. So that's one. And another one would be using words intentionally, like decide, choose, or pick. So a lot of children don't have an awareness that they actually choose their own attitudes or that they're responsible for their behavior. So you say to a child, I noticed you got into a fight in school today. What happened? They say, oh, my friend made me do it. Or he pushed me. I've spoken to a child that fell down and the child said to me, the floor tripped me. So you can say to the child, I noticed you chose to fight today, or I noticed you picked, a sour mood. What happened? Or, if you decide, to return the car without petrol inside it, then you choose not to use the car next weekend. So when we use these words over and over, and they have to be repetitive, then the child understands that they are actually the ones choosing their attitude, they're in control of their behavior, and no one made them do it.
Oh, great. It's very, very, I'm processing everything that you're saying, and I'm like, wow. You are very, very right. We take so much responsibility for our kids' behaviors and their actions. Even when they're wrong, we still, feel responsible for them. And then, letting us, pay attention. This is bringing us to the attention that we need to pay in regards to them taking responsibility. But then, there's a very thin line with us shoving what we want, our choices on our children. So for example, you use the case of the blue shirts and the yellow shirts. It is what we want because at their age, they may not exactly, they may not know what they want. So there's that thin line. How do we, separate it without making it look like we are the ones, making full-on choice, shoving our choices on them?
Well, it's developmental. So we have something where we call a framework, yeah? So at a certain age, you need to actually be the one making certain choices. A child does not know that they need to wear a thick cardigan, like a toddler probably doesn't understand why he will wear a thick cardigan when it's really, really cold. And not a vest or something. So as the parent, you would offer safe choices. And like I said, limited. Because when we give unlimited choices, the child feels unsafe and they're overwhelmed. So as they grow older, then you can increase the amount of freedom they have. Like the more they've been making choices, then the more responsible they become because they've had more practice, and then the more they're able to handle more responsibility, you get the feedback that your parenting has actually been effective. And by the time they're teenagers, they're able to actually really make good life choices for themselves.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ajoke. This has been very insightful. I've learned something, and I'm definitely going to be more intentional with my choice of words. Would you like the yellow or the blue top today? All right, thank you so much. All right, the conversation, of course, continues on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. We have to head over to the kitchen now. Mary, what is cooking?
Thank you, Chef Rafibi is cooking, and she's making pancakes this morning. Nigerian
pancake.
Yes. So what has gone into this pan will blow your mind. So we just poured in the melted butter. So we're going to mix that in
together.
But run us through how we got to this point before we start making our pancakes.
Yes, we have added our chopped bell pepper, all the colors of bell pepper.
Yeah.
Red chopped onions.
Okay.
The milk powder flavor.
Okay.
Baking powder. Your sugar. Your salt. We have added everything together. And the melted butter.
Okay.
And little vegetable oil.
Yeah.
So cholesterol-free vegetable oil.
Yes.
E.g. like power oil and so on and so forth.
Okay, so we're going to mix it up now.
Mix everything together now.
Yes.
We have added our egg as well.
Okay.
So to mix everything with your balloon whisk, egg whisker, this is the best way for you to mix your butter to give you lumps free.
Okay.
Lumps free.
Okay.
So,
you know, I find it interesting that nobody ever uses palm oil for pancakes or for baking.
Not palm oil, vegetable oil.
Why?
Vegetable
Is it that
oil.
nobody is bold enough to try it?
No.
Even if it's to fry the butter.
Yes. You know, Nigeria nowadays, technology is getting improved. So we need to improve and educate ourselves more, especially on diet, on our diet. So that is it.
Okay, so we can bring palm oil and fry this one now.
No, you can't use
Everybody's
palm oil.
eyeing me. Why now?
Why palm oil?
Yes,
You
now,
can use your
because it's
melted
healthier.
butter. It's healthier, yes. Doesn't go with this. If you want a pancake that goes with palm oil, you can make your things to be red. So that means you are going for...
Please, let's start frying. It's okay. I've been scolded enough. No problem. But me, I'll fry the next pancake with palm oil. Don't tell anybody in my family.
No problem about that. You can do it the way you want. It depends on your choice.
So you've oiled that?
Yes, I've oiled it.
Okay, so let's see how you're going to do it.
The pan has been oiled.
Okay. So there we go. I've been curious about what you want to use this brush for, but I'll not say anything yet.
You will see it soon. Just to use it to be oiling my pan.
Okay.
That is the purpose.
Okay.
So I don't supposed to tell you the secret. Because
okay,
you'll be eyeing me all this. Why?
Okay.
Why is this all for?
Okay. All right. That is it. So by the time the pancake comes out, it will have colors because of the bell peppers we put in. So you see specks of green, yellow, red, and that actually is not all there is to it. All fair. Chef Rafibi was telling me that you can also add bacon. If you put in bacon, it just takes the taste to another level. Yes. You can put chicken chunks. Yes. You can put just about any kind of protein. I'm already thinking shrimps.
That you can afford.
That you can afford, of course, yes. Yeah, because me, I was even thinking of pomo.
If you like, you can chop your pomo and have it.
It's not yet banned now.
Yes.
Before they come and... So you can just chop the pomo. Yes. That one will make sense, so... Chop pomo, or you can even do it like this. You slice your pomo like this, one, then you roll the... I like food, I know.
You roll your butter.
At this point, let's take a break. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria.
Mary, you like food?
I do. We're at the top of the hour. We still have more for you on the other side. Stay with us. Our time is now. All right, our future. Good times come early here on your most watched family breakfast show. Indeed.
I was going for a crescendo with that one. What happened? You just went into the
What?
It's okay.
It's the International Day of the Girl Child, and that's the theme, man.
It is indeed.
What are you talking about?
Talk about that.
Well, you know, a TVC man who said they want the International Day of the Boy Child celebrated. But let's go on. You're going to say?
It was a war with Mary, but it's all good. Now, if you're just joining us, then you've just lost out on an hour, but we still have about 45 minutes for you guys to go. We're setting the benchmark here for you for the best breakfast TV show on Nigerian television. We've been here since 7 a.m., by the way.
Yes, and it's still the International Day of the Girl Child, the day which focuses on the rights, the safety, and education of girls. Can't I be an activist in peace? The core objective, of course, is to make girls an active part of the progress of the world. So it's been a spectacular 1 hour, if you ask me.
Yes, indeed it has. And being a father to a daughter, I think...
He's a girl dad.
Girls are fantastic. MM.
Why did you hesitate?
Hesitate. You've got 2 girls yourself, don't you?
Yes, I've got
She doesn't
2
look it.
beautiful girls. And, ooh, wow. It's, well, they deserve to be celebrated every single day, not just on this day, but hey, it's also a day to commemorate. Auntie, calm down. Yes, Chef Ruffy B is still hard at work, making sure those pancakes come out, you know, smooth and nice. Well done, man.
Thank you, MM. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yes, I'm just...
Welcome to the kitchen, indeed. Yes.
Okay.
MM.
Okay.
What? No, wait. MM. What she has just told you.
And I'm owing up to my fortune.
Where is the check?
Let me talk, MM. Don't do that. MM, your own guess is what coming to
Keep quiet. We've already passed that part. Let's move on.
My name is Mazino Appeal. What's your name?
Don't let me forget my own name. My name is Mary Bashua. You guys, I can't
Remember, you can use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC if you want to poke fun at MM. Please do that now across every social media platform. Let's drag her across the gutter of breakfast TV this morning.
You can also watch us on YouTube, okay? Just look for TVC Entertainment.
Yes.
But you know what? Don't watch this part of it.
No, go back and see this
No,
moment.
don't watch this part of the show.
We're going to make a YouTube short of this. Listen, guys, just follow us. All the handles are at TVC Connect. Thank you very much. We wasted enough time already.
Yes, indeed. So let's just quickly tell you what we have in store for you this hour, okay? It's the International Day for the Girl Child. I think I've said that like 6 times already.
It's okay. It's okay.
And of course, we have a special guest joining us, Tobi Ola Adetimole, the founder of Priceless Virtues International Initiative. Today, we will be focusing on the theme, which of course is what I started this hour with.
Coming up for a very grand performance, a musical one, Adiola Martins, a gospel music minister and an anointed worshiper with a unique voice, will be joining us for a grand one. And I can't contain myself. We have Nigerian media personality, actress and photographer, Remi Antonia Adefuye, also known as Toni Tones in the building, the 2020 nominated for the Best Supporting Actress at the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award, and many more nominations in other awards. I can't contain myself. Fantastic. Can't wait to see her.
All right, a conversation I've been looking forward to all morning. It's the International Day for the Girl Child, and we have a special guest joining us today. She is Tobi Ola Adetimole, the founder of Priceless Virtues International Initiative, an organization founded in 2016 to advance education and empowerment opportunities for underserved girls. Today, we'll be discussing this year's theme for the International Day of the Girl Child, which is Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. And it's such a pleasure to be having this conversation with you this morning.
Thank you
How
so
are
much.
you doing?
Very well, I'm fine.
Okay, so, you know, when we talk about the girl child, there are varying angles to it.
Yes.
Yes, but I like the fact that this year the theme has to do with our rights,
Yes.
the rights of a girl child. Please tell me more on that.
All right, so the International Day of the Girl Child, this is the 10th year of celebration. And over time, the focus of the celebration is always to, you know, recognize the rights of the girl child, which are basically the human rights. Now, when you see a girl child, you want to wear her the gender tag. You want to bring in the stereotypes. You want to, you know, bring in the limitation, the bias, the discrimination. But what we are saying is, let us pronounce the human rights. Let us forget that we are girls. Remove the gender tag. She is human. And then what are the rights? Right to life and liberty. You know? The covenant of life, the right to life, is the greatest. If you are not alive, there is nothing you can do about the other rights. So the rights of the girl child, we're talking about the right to life and liberty. Let her be alive. We say no to domestic violence. We say no to we say no to problems that can take her life. We say no to, you know, instances, challenges that can make her to be relegated. So first we talk about rights to life and liberty. We talk about freedom from torture. We have so many girls out there today that, you know, they are in child labor.
Yes.
Some of them have to hawk, some of them have to, you know, beaten. You see some girls that they have been tortured because they are trying to fend for themselves and they are trying to also make a living. They are trying to make a living. So, right to life, you know, freedom from torture, right to education majorly. Right to education, right for them to go to school. You know, some girls, because their parents don't have money, because there's no fund, because there's no means for them, they stay back at home. Some of them become victims to sexual violence, to rape. So, right to education, right for them to go to school, right for their voices to be heard. Because now some people are saying girls are going to school, we have so many of the numbers, we have the statistics increasing. Fine, the statistics are increasing. They are going to school. But are we also providing a seat for them at the table for their voices to be heard, for them to talk? Yes, for them to talk about the challenges, about the decisions that affect them, that affect their children, that affect the home, that affect everything that concerns the girl child. So we have to create space. It's a right for our voices to be heard, right for the girl child to work. Some people, you know, there was a conversation about salaries. This is what the guys we have. This is what the girls we have. Right for girls to work and get as much as they work for, you know. Right for them to participate in leadership and in politics. You know, when we're growing, secondary school, primary school, we have class captain boys. Assistant class captain have to be a girl.
Yes.
No, it doesn't have to. We don't have to stop at the post of being as. We can rise up to take the lead position. We can rise up to be at the forefront of deciding and breaking stereotypes. So the reason why we are talking about, we cannot overemphasize it. If we talk about rights of the girl child today, we are still going to talk about it tomorrow. We are still going to talk about it next year. Because when the rights of a girl is not known, if we don't emphasize it constantly, she might not know that, okay, this is what I can be. This is the opportunities that are available for me. This is how far I can go, not minding who I am. So over time, you know, the stereotypes, the societal scripts, especially, has hindered girls from not taking ownership of their lives. You know, I can dream, but I can't dream more than this point. I can pursue this goal, but let's just leave it at this point. That's the societal script. Or then you'll be married, just calm down. You are dreaming too much. You know, your husband will be there for you, and then you just have to take care of the children. But these are societal scripts that we are telling the girls that your right is much more than this. You can be whatever. We are waiting for you on the global stage, you know, to show forth those potentials.
So at the point we say our time is now, it means it is time to seize these things.
Yes.
But then I find it worrisome that the girl child's time has been now for several years now. And it seems the wins are taking place at snail pace.
All right.
You win one thing this year, it takes another 3-5 years to win something else. Yes, we are winning bit by bit. But when we talk about our time is now, it's almost repetitive. What measures are being taken to ensure that the time really is now?
The thing is, the time is now. It will always continue to be repetitive. Now, this is 10 years that we started celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child. You know, adopted from the United Nations General Assembly. 10 years. To some people, 10 years is much. But to me, I would say 10 years is just the start. So for someone that says the time is now, 10 years ago, for that person, she has made a lot of progress. Some people are just hearing about girl child. Some girls are just hearing about the girl child right today. So if I say your own time is now today, then start running. If my own time was 10 years ago, then I've started running. Some will need to hear about it next year, then they start running. So the thing is, a girl child counts. That's how we measure it. If a girl child today can stand up for her right, then we are making progress. Then tomorrow, if we can add another number to the statistics, then we are making another progress. So we hope that in another 10 years, we'll have doubled the results of what we have today.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been an interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
To every girl child, today is your day. Today is our day, because me, I'm still a girl. I don't know about so we celebrate this day in our own way. Our time indeed is now. We'll take this break. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
You're welcome back, and finally we have the moment we've been waiting for. Nigerian media personality, actress and photographer Remi Antonia Adefuye. My personal favorite. I can't begin to tell you guys how excited I am that she's here. Toni Tones is in the building!
And of course, yes, in 2020, she was nominated for the Best Supporting Actress at the Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards. And she's an alumnus of the Relativity Film School in Los Angeles, California. And of course, has featured in so many movies, both TV and web series. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here, finally.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
I just wanted to say I'm your biggest fan.
Oh,
Honestly, I'm not joking. I even follow you on social media, and that thing you do every Sunday night, is it Sunday? Why don't you do it anymore?
You know
I
what,
do. It's
quickly?
just
Let's quickly see her performance in Brotherhood, because the guy here is... Let's go. Ah, that role will always be fresh in our memories. It's iconic. I loved it. I loved it. But hey, we have seen you, transition from one role to another. I mean, you've basically played so many roles that just takes you, there and then throws you to another end. So how's that been? How do you prepare yourself for all of these roles? So first I'm going to highlight your role in King of Boys and the one in Brotherhood. How did you prepare for these roles, these iconic roles?
For King of Boys, I was playing the younger version of someone. So I just pretty much sat down and broke down how best I could possibly become this person. When you're playing the younger version of someone, there's a blueprint that people can compare you to. So, I tried my best to I studied her mannerisms. I tried to look like her as much as I could. I put on weight. I think I put on about 40 pounds to
Oh, really?
to play young and because I was trying. I thought if I just filled out a bit more, I would look more like her, which I did. I think that helped a lot. For Brotherhood, it was quite the opposite here. I'm an action star in Brotherhood, it's an action movie. And in my mind, action stars are always lean and toned, and I really, really wanted to embody that. I wanted to look like a true action star. Plus, I had been waiting to play action for a very long time.
Oh, really?
So I was very excited. So for Brotherhood, I lost 35 pounds and upped my protein intake, upped my gym workout to be able to be really lean and toned and cut to play Goldie. My character's name is Goldie. And we had stunt coordinators sort of run us through, because there's a lot of stunts in it and things like that, sort of run us through there's a lot of shooting, how to hold guns, how to work with guns, the movements and things like that. So it was really interesting. It was really exciting. I had a lot of bruises from Brotherhood.
I was going to ask.
I was properly banged up, but I was so proud of them all the time. They're like my war scars. I also have to say, look at my bruises.
Can you show us one quickly?
I don't have them anymore, but I have a video. I will have sent you the video. I have a recording of all the bruises that I had. I was bruised all over.
You seem the most excited about Brotherhood. Is it just me?
I mean, Brotherhood is what is out now. It's out at the moment. You see what I mean? And I'm very excited about it because the reception for the movie has been absolutely amazing. I think it's surpassed anything that we could have ever really, really thought. So I'm really excited.
I hear it's a watershed in movie making in Nigeria. Everybody's going to refer to that and say, we want to be that.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's definitely set a standard, especially for action films. It's definitely set a standard for sure.
I want to talk about you outside the movies, because I think that you are an entire force outside the movies, especially online. You've got such a huge following, and you have not just a huge following, but a relationship with the people that that follow you.
Yeah.
How are you able to accomplish that? I do not know, because for God's sakes, I'm one of those people. How I stumbled on your page and I started following you, and I thought, oh, she's even an actress. Oh my God, she's this big. And you don't do it anymore, but I used to love that thing you do on Sunday nights.
I actually do. I haven't done it it's called Tell Toni Tones.
Tell Toni
what
Tones.
it is I do it on Sunday evenings on my stories, and people write in their problems, and then I sort of give them my advice or my take.
Man, the tea on that thread, man. The tea on that thread.
what I find is that people really want to share. People are going through so much, and they're looking for someone to listen to them and just sort of unburden themselves and hear them out. So, you know, it's always my pleasure to do that. Most especially, there are a lot of young girls, you know, who follow, who share their problems, relationship problems, and things like that.
And especially because it's anonymous, people can tell you so much and continue telling even after you've reacted
you know,
to
they
it.
get this advice. For me, I just think when I was 18 years old, I wish I had somebody older who was able to guide me. So I tried to kind of do that. But it's not just for 18-year-olds or anything like that, but just an example of the kind of people that people writing about their relationship problems and things like that. And, you know, I'm just able to sort of give my take. And I like to think that, you know, I'm a bit wise.
So you've gathered so many people's experiences from that alone.
Yes,
Are you going to translate this into a movie someday? Because, like I said, there's so much information that Nollywood can't even... If they took your page in retrospect, they can make so many movies from it.
There really is. I mean, people, you know, since I started Tell Tony Tales, I've realized that, man, people are going through just so much, and people's life experiences are so completely different, and it's so vast. And I'm just so much more aware of how everyone's perception of the world is so different based on our experiences. I think that there's a lot more that I want to do from it. There's a lot more that I want to sort of take on board and do. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm coming together with certain organizations to be able to help people and see what I can do, because it's gone to a point where I want to do more than just give you advice. I want to be able to help who I can help. Do you see what I mean?
Start a foundation, start a movement.
Yeah. So I'd like to know quickly, what's your biggest life lessons? And what's your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake is probably not starting my entertainment career earlier than I did. Okay. Because I've wanted to do it since I was a kid, and I just didn't, just out of nothing but fear. So if I would say, if I could go back, I would have started much earlier. What's the second question?
Your biggest life lessons? What have you learned so far?
Biggest life lesson is probably to, you know, to do it afraid. So they're both intertwined.
Say it again. Do it afraid. Can you exactly explain how that works?
Okay, so do not ever let fear be the reason that you don't do something.
Nice.
Do you see what I mean? Give yourself 1,000 reasons, but if it's just because you're afraid, if it's just because what people say and things like that, then you have to do it.
Wow.
You know, if you go to sleep and you can't, if at bed at night, this is all you're thinking about, if your heart is burning for it, if your heart is yearning for it, you have to do it. It's better to fail than to never have tried.
Yeah. You've just given, I see it, you've just given the push I needed. This is it. I'm going for it. I will be the next James Bond.
You should do it.
I love her. She has to inspire me.
Let's see her.
Yeah, let's take one of your works, and then when we come back, we'll be feeding you in the kitchen.
I got it.
Nice shot.
Thank you. Come on.
Welcome to the kitchen, Toni Toes. It's so good to have you here. Okay, so breakfast is by Chef Rafi B. Would like you to dig into it. Savory Nigerian pancakes.
What are we having?
Yes.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
You must explain why it's Nigerian. That's the part, you know.
Because we do more of pepper than sugar.
So can I ask, what is this? I love pepper. So there's pepper in this. Oh, this
yes, there's
pancakes.
pepper in it. Yes.
Okay. I think I'm the perfect
So we
guest.
did more of making it using salt than sugar.
Yes.
Because these days people are trying to cut down their sugar intake and all. So pretty sure you'd like it.
This is true.
It's quite milky too.
This is so good.
I guess the taste hits are right after. Yeah. Thank you so much. And of course, many thanks to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Thank you so much for watching as well. You mean a lot to us. Thank you, Chef Rafi B.
Thank you.
Be sure to join us again tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. Wonder Women Wednesday. Bye for now.